From Chapter 7 of The Waiting Season by Elias Mwape, what your 20s are actually for. So if your 20s are not the deadline, then what are they for? Are you just supposed to drift? Is it wrong to have goals? Is it wrong to want to figure things out? In this chapter, Elias Mwape gives you the answer, and it starts with a builder. Because the Apostle Paul in 1 Corinthians chapter 3 verse 10 wrote these words, "I have laid the foundation like an expert builder. Now others are building on it. But whoever is building on this foundation must be very careful." Elias Mwape asks you to picture something. Picture your 20s as the construction site for your entire life. And here is the first principle, the hidden architecture principle. In a world that forces you to post your wins, you forget something. The most important parts of any building are the parts nobody sees. The reinforcing bar, the concrete foundation, the structural integrity. If you are building your entire identity on your LinkedIn title or your follower count, you are building a skyscraper on sand. Your 20s are for pouring the foundation, your character, your emotional regulation, your faith. Try to build the penthouse of success before you have poured that foundation, and the weight of your own life will eventually crush you. Then comes the quality control principle. We live in an era of hustle culture and main character energy, but we often treat our decisions like disposable content. Being very careful means realizing this. Every person you let influence your path and every habit you form is a brick in your future. You cannot build a legacy with shaky materials. It is okay to have a flop era. That is just the test phase. But do not be careless with your integrity, because you are not just building for today's content. You are building for the person you have to live with at 45. Then, the legacy principle. Now others are building on it. Your life is neither a solo player game nor an open source project. The people who care about you are watching how you handle stress, how you treat your peers, how you pivot when things go wrong. If you build well, you make it easier for those coming after you to thrive. You are not just building for you. You are building the ground that your future self and the people you will eventually lead will stand on. And Solomon, the wisest king who ever lived, the man who built literally everything a person could build, circled back at the end to tell young people just one thing. Remember now thy Creator in the days of thy youth. Ecclesiastes chapter 12 verse 1. Elias Mwape says this is not a scare tactic. It is a cheat code. Solomon is basically saying, do not wait until you are running on empty to remember God. The choices you make right now, while you still have the energy and the days still feel good, are the ones that decide whether 45-year-old you will be at peace or stuck in a quiet what-if loop. Put God in the foundation while you are young and building, so the rest of your life is something you actually get to enjoy. So then, what are you actually supposed to build in your 20s? First, build your character, not just your LinkedIn. The ultimate flex in your 20s is not a launched startup or a six-figure salary or a stacked CV. It is integrity, emotional regulation, faith when you are under immense pressure, and the ability to sit alone in a room without spiraling. None of this is aesthetic. None of this goes viral on Instagram. But these behind-the-scenes traits are exactly what decide whether you survive success in your 20s, 30s, 40s, or even your 60s. If you get the platform before you build the character, the platform can crush you. Second, have your flop era cheaply. Let us normalize failing. It is completely okay to score a C right now in your mathematics test and still be totally fine with it. A failed side hustle, a messy career pivot, a terrible business idea at 23 costs you some time and a little pride. Making those same mistakes at 43 costs you a mortgage, a marriage, and your children's school fees. The mistake is the same, but the cost is very different. So your 20s are meant to be a laboratory. Launch the thing. Try the new path. Apply for the job you are not qualified for. If it flops, shake it off. You are paying a very cheap tuition right now to learn massive life lessons. Third, find your actual calling and be a sponge. Let us be real. A lot of us are blindly chasing degrees our parents picked out, or careers that just sound good at family gatherings. But have you ever stopped to ask, is this what I really want, or what my parents want? What did God actually wire me to do? It is good to make your parents proud, but not at the expense of your destiny. Your 20s are for discovering purpose. Responsibly try different things. Pray for clarity. Pay attention to what gives you energy and what drains the absolute life out of you. And Proverbs chapter 1 verse 5 says, let the wise listen and add to their learning, and let the discerning get guidance. So stop trying to be the smartest person in the room. Just be a sponge. And now some practical tips from Elias Mwape on how to build seriously. Start something small and start it now. You do not need capital. You need skill. Tutoring, graphic design, repairs, content writing, chicken keeping. Start. Charge a small fee. Build the muscle of doing. Build your skill before your brand. Too many young men are building Instagram presence before they even have a skill worth promoting. Get the skill first. The brand follows the substance. Manage money like your future depends on it, because it does. If you cannot manage 100 kwacha, you cannot manage 100,000. And build your inner circle before you build your empire. Find one man 10 to 20 years ahead of you who has built something real and has a faith you respect. Ask him to walk with you. Older Christian men are honored to be asked. 3 key lessons from chapter 7 of The Waiting Season by Elias Mwape. Lesson 1. Your 20s are for pouring the foundation. Character, emotional regulation, faith. The penthouse comes later. Lesson 2. Have your flop era cheaply. Fail at 23 when it cost you pride, not at 43 when it cost you your family. Lesson 3. Build your inner circle before you build your empire. Find one older man ahead of you, 2 friends walking the same direction, 3 people. Build with them. And now remember, this reel was only a snippet of one chapter. The full book, The Waiting Season by Elias Mwape, is a 40-day guide for young people navigating the silent battles of youth. Purpose, calling, patience, comparison, purity, money, loneliness, prayer, and the long, slow work of becoming who God is shaping you to be. Grab your free 10-chapter preview or pre-order the full copy using the links in the description. Share this reel with someone who needs to hear it, and keep waiting well.